viscosity, certain liquids flow faster than some other liquids. Okay, for example, if we take water and ether, which flows faster than honey and glycerin. Okay, so every liquid has some internal resistance to flow. So what is viscosity? Viscosity is the measure of resistance to the flow arises due to the internal friction. Okay, due to the internal friction between the layers of fluid. Okay, between the layers of fluid, between the layers of fluid as they strip past one another, as they strip past one another, while liquids flow. Okay, this internal resistance or internal friction is called as viscosity. Okay, so liquids which flow slowly means they have high viscosity. Now, viscosity also depends upon the intermolecular force of attraction. As intermolecular force of attraction increases means intermolecular force increases, viscosity also increases, means high viscosity. Next, viscosity also depends upon temperature. Okay, as temperature increases, what happens? Kinetic energy of the molecules increases. As kinetic energy increases means intermolecular forces decreases. Intermolecular forces decreases. So viscosity decreases. Okay. Next, when a liquid flows over a fixed surface, the layer of molecule in immediate contact is stationary. Okay. Next, the velocity of the upper layer increases with increase in distance from the fixed layer. So, different layers are there. Okay. So, as the distance from the fixed surface increases, the velocity of the different layers also increases. Okay. This type of flow in which there is regular gradation of velocity. Flow in which regular gradation of velocity in passing one layer from the next layer, okay, is called as laminar flow. Okay, there is a regular gradation and the change in velocity between different layers is du. Okay, so A is the area of the plate or area of contact, area of plate, and D is the distance between the layers. Okay, distance between layers. Now, if we take, first we take layer of flow. Layer of flow, the velocity is u. Okay, so the layer, the upper layer accelerates this flow and the velocity of the upper layer will be u plus du. and the layer below this layer retards the flow and its velocity is u minus du. Okay, now there is a change in velocity or gradation in the velocity or change in velocity is will be du by dz and A is the area of the plate. Now a force is required to maintain this flow and this force is proportional to change in velocity, that is du by dz. Also this force is proportional to area, or we can write F is proportional to A du by dz, or F is equal to some proportionality constant into du by dz. This proportionality constant is called as coefficient of viscosity. Okay, coefficient of viscosity. This is called as coefficient of viscosity. So F is equal to some proportionality constant. This is called as coefficient of viscosity into A du by dz. So we can explain coefficient of viscosity as coefficient of viscosity is the force at velocity gradient is unity. Velocity gradient is unity at unit area. Okay, so at unit area of contact is called as coefficient. So coefficient of viscosity is the force when the velocity gradient is unity at unit area of contact. And SI unit of coefficient of viscosity is Newton second n raised to minus 2. Okay, or we can write Pascal second. Now in CGS unit of coefficient of viscosity is poise, because this name got from the scientist Jean-Louis Poiseuille. Okay, and one poise is equal to 1 gram meter raised to minus 1 s raised to minus 1. So this is a CGS unit of coefficient of viscosity. Okay, now what happens if the liquid is slower? Greater the viscosity means slower will be the liquid. Okay, van der Waals forces and hydrogen bonding also. Van der Waals forces and hydrogen bonding. Van der Waals forces and hydrogen bonding also causes greater viscosity. Okay, glass is the most viscous liquid. As the viscosity increases, the liquid flows slower. Okay, so one of the application, window panes in old buildings. Window panes. In old buildings, if we notice, we can see that the down portion is thicker than top. Down portion is thicker than top because glass is a viscous liquid. So as time passes, what happens? It will melt and flows very slowly. So at last, after a few years, the down portion becomes thicker than the top portion. Also honey and water. Honey flows slower than water. Okay.